Aye. Okay, so now we need a motion to approve the amended agenda. I move to approve the amended agenda. All those in favor? Or sorry, is there a second?
Second.
Yeah. Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so the motion carries. Yes.
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. You guys just came online as you were asking for the amendment to a motion to approve the amended agenda. Just so that it's part of the official record, could you please repeat how you amended your agenda?
Sure, I'll say it again.
Thank you so much.
It was a motion to add the letter to Dr. Bracken discussed at our previous meeting to the action items as item F, and to delete the CAT report from the information items because Tamara already gave the CAT report at the last meeting. So Eric, I'll send you that language of the motion. And so that's the motion that passed. Okay, we're going to start with our first 10-minute public comment period. Is there anyone who would like to make any comments on the items that are on our agenda? We don't have any members of the public here with us in person. Is there anyone on YouTube who would like to make a public comment? If so, you can put your name in the comments and we will send you a link that you'll be able to make a public comment.
I'm watching YouTube. We just had a good afternoon, but it's not like anyone.
Okay, so we'll have a second comment period at the end of the meeting. So our next item on the agenda is the approval of the previous minutes. Eric circulated the minutes, the draft minutes by email, and they were also posted on the GoTeam website. Are there any amendments or corrections to the draft minutes? Okay, so let's go ahead and have a motion. I move to approve the draft minutes that were previously circulated. Do we have a second? Second. Okay, Ms. Boyd, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries to approve the draft minutes as the final minutes from the last meeting. Okay, so now we are moving to discussion items, and after the discussion item, we will go back to action items to take action on the discussion. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Bachman and Ms. Capelli, and they will share with us the final budget recommendation. And this presentation was previously circulated to the GoTeam and is also posted on the GoTeam website. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Just a reminder of our norms, which are right there as we enter this discussion. We are there. It took a lot to get there, but we are there. Step 8. And so we've done a great job of getting there. Finalized here.
Dr. Bachman,
Oh, go ahead.
I apologize. Audria needs the Zoom link. She's watching on YouTube right now, but she's able to join us by Zoom. So sorry. So Audria, if you can see me.
It's the same link as last time, but I can still send it to her, but just if she has it already.
Okay.
Last time.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Dr. Bachman.
Okay, so during this meeting, GoTeams review all components of the budget, which should be updated based on feedback from the cluster superintendent and key leaders. After review, GoTeams will take action on the FY26 budget. 1, principals will present the final budget recommendations for GoTeam approval. When all approval meetings must be held after staffing conferences, and budgets must be approved by March 14th. So we're right on time, right with the time, within the timeline. We did not make any changes since we met a few weeks ago, so there's really nothing to talk about as far as change.
microphone closer to Dr. Buffett people in our
Oh.
I'm not sure we
As
can.
far as it goes.
A little bit, speak up here.
Sure. Okay, so we have no changes since the meeting that we had 2 weeks ago, no budget changes at all from the last thing we talked about.
So this is the same thing that was presented at our February meeting. All of the, areas per pupil are the same, so we're at a per pupil budget of 11,989. And then this is that same pie graphic, again, we looked at in February. No changes here, but it does show you the breakdown of where the budget has gone. So 75% to instruction, and then the other 25% to pupil services and instructional service, staff training, media, school administration, maintenance, and transportation.
Any questions, discussion? Don't want to bring up?
Seems like we're using the microphone.
Should we?
So we'll turn the head and split that way.
This is the, is that any better? Diane, are you having a hard time hearing us?
I can hear you guys.
Okay.
I mean, the screen was a little fuzzy before, but that seems to be better now. But I'm not having any problem hearing now.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is.
She said she can hear very well. Are we gonna go through any of the some of the information?
No, I mean, it's just the exact same presentation as last time, there's nothing changed.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, I can certainly go.
Okay, you're muted now. And the other
Okay.
the other thing I always remind teams when they meet hybrid is please use your teacher voice, not your inside voice. So.
Oh, yeah, okay, on page 47.
Page what?
47, just go down. But looking at some of the stipends, just wanted to get an idea. Okay, so it looks like the athletic stipend is the same for every high school, from what I can tell. So no matter what sports they offer, everybody gets the same. Now, is that
The same amount for, say, the girls basketball coach, at every school, the girls track coach, is that what you mean? Yes.
okay? And any, like, I've been trying to get my handle on, how the other stipends, like, there's so many, there are different levels of stipend.
Different amounts? Or,
I mean, I don't know about a different sport, but like, for instance, in swimming, the girls coach dives stipend and the boys coach dives stipend. So that's all, like, every school gets that. And then the girls-
yes, and then you can use, if you don't have that sport, you could use that stipend in another sport to support another coach or something like that. And I think, yeah,
outside of this, there's no other stipends for coaches.
for athletics,
For coaches.
correct.
And this part is set by the districts, and we didn't, determine this at the school level, this is given to us.
Yeah, like I said, I've looked at other schools and they're getting the exact same thing, no matter what size it's.
Dr. Bachman, Dr. Bachman, after we had our virtual meeting with Audria, you and I had that virtual meeting with Dr. Bracken. She had kind of a to-do list and things she was going to look into and get back to us. Have you heard anything from her?
No.
Thank you. Okay, so Are there any other questions or discussions on the budget? Okay, so with this discussion item complete, we can now go back to the action items. And the action item is does someone want to make a motion to approve this budget? Also, I'll make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Udoka, second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, so the motion to approve the budget passes on unanimous vote. We're now going to action item E that was added to the agenda, and that is the letter to Dr. Bracken. So at our last meeting, we talked about sending a letter to Dr. Bracken requesting funding for Turnitin, the software that is being paid for by APS for IB schools. And our rationale is it is required by the College Board for AP classes. So it should also be directly funded from APS. It shouldn't have to come out of our discretionary Midtown funds. So I sent a draft letter to everyone by email. I'll just read it really fast. It's just a few sentences. Dear Dr. Bracken, I'm writing on behalf of, and Eric, you've got this, so you're not going to type it in. Okay, dear Dr. Bracken, I'm writing on behalf of the Midtown High School Go Team to request that APS provide additional funding to Midtown High School for the cost of Turnitin software. During the virtual meeting that Audrey Reese and I attended with you on February 24th, you indicated that APS is providing direct funding to IB schools for Turnitin because it is required for IB certification. Following the 224 meeting, the Go Team learned that Turnitin is similarly required by the College Board for several AP classes offered at Midtown High School. Accordingly, as with IB certification, APS should directly fund Turnitin for Midtown High School rather than requiring Midtown to purchase it from discretionary funds because the software is required by the College Board. Sincerely, Jennifer Keenan, Chair of Midtown Go Team. So, any requested edits to the letter?
Do we need that last because clause? The link to the feeding between
Nope. I will definitely defer to the English teacher. Got it. Okay, I got rid of that. Any other requested edits? Okay, so with that, is there a motion to approve sending this amended letter via email to Dr. Bracken on behalf of the Midtown Go Team?
So
We have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries, and I will send the email to Dr. Bracken tomorrow.
Is it more effective to have list all of them versus the go teams? Similar.
I mean, I say I'm sending it on behalf of the Midtown Go Team. I could CC everybody. I mean, I don't think it matters, but I'm happy to deal with that. Okay, we are now going on to the information items, which we only have one, the principal's report.
So Friday, I sent you also updated information about STEAM STEM, the certification process. It's my hope that we can move through that next year, the 25-26 school year, to finish that certification process. So just to first, did anybody have any burning questions that you want to ask right now? We're not going to go through that because there's a lot in there. A lot in there that you can read. It is good though. Stacy Tanner has done a good job of really documenting what's been done and what we need to do, and she's really good at that. So.
And then linked in here as well, if anyone didn't get to see it. So one of the things, we met with the other principals within the Midtown Go team, as well as Georgia DOE and the district coordinator for STEAM just a couple of weeks ago to get a little bit of an idea and update about where APS is going with STEAM, and then obviously for us as a school. So one of the things that APS is trying to push out is this kind of like precursor to getting the Georgia DOE certification. So basically we would kind of go through a preliminary certification process with the district to make sure we have all the feedback that we need, that we can like fix the things that we already know about ahead of time before we go through the Georgia DOE process. And, you know, we don't want to waste time. We want to make sure that we're as prepared as possible to go through that. So this is the draft. They have not finalized exactly what this is going to be, but this is a pretty, you know, final draft of what that looks like. And it's very closely aligned to what the Georgia DOE is going to be looking for in all of those areas for their certification. So we just kind of wanted to give an update that our plan is for myself and Dr. Bachman and Ms. Tanner to meet with our district coordinator for STEAM and go through this big document that has been done to show all of the things that we've done and kind of try to get a sense of, are we ready to be able to move on to certification next year? Are we in a good spot to be able to have all the documentation that we needed to be successful with that first go around?
So we're trying to get that level one from the district, and the district is figuring out what all of it is. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. I mean, they know what it all is. They're basically trying to create a process for us to, it's not certification, but it's just a feedback process for them to come out and go through this. We don't want level 1, we want level 3.
Right.
But for them to come out and give feedback on each of these areas. So, you know, what's our culture of STEM? What is our instructional practices? Because in order to go through the certification process at the DOE, there's a lot of documentation that you have to submit. You know, and then they're going to come out and do classroom observations and meet with teachers and meet with kids, and meet with parents and all of those kinds of things. So basically it's like a mini certification process really to get feedback and make sure that we're not walking into the Georgia DOE certification, missing a whole component and we don't know about it. So this is just like they're working out exactly what this draft is going to look like. But I mean, they've shared this, so this is a pretty final draft. They're just trying to get some feedback from the principals as well before it becomes a final.
So we think that within the next year, we'll be able to get that level 3.
I think we're pretty good. So I have a question about certification. So IB certification is through an independent third body. The IB certification, whatever, organization.
It's through IB.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a separate organization. But STEAM certification is through Georgia Department of Education?
Correct.
Yes. But APS, I mean, according to Dr. Bracken, is going to be reevaluating whether certification is fruitful or necessary for Atlanta Public Schools.
Certification or certificate?
I guess both.
I thought it was both. Yeah, if they're abandoning signature keys, then they would abandon the certification.
And what role does Cognia play? Is it independent certified?
Cognia used to certify, but the entire district needs to be Cognia certified in order for you to go through the Cognia certification process. And as a district, our elementary schools are not Cognia certified. So Cognia is no longer doing certification with APS because our whole district is not Cognia certified. So Georgia DOE would be our only option for certification.
Okay, I was not aware of that. So the ones that got their Cognia certification are kind of the ones that will have that.
Yeah, they're kind of grandfathered in, but they're no longer, Cognia is no longer certifying schools in APS.
because we put so much effort and money and time into this, I'd really like to finish the process, even if Dr. Johnson or the board decides. I don't know that they would cut it off next year, probably the funding might be next year, the year after that, but I would really, just because of what we've done. really like to finish this out.
Some cost.
And is there an annual recertification? Are there annual fees after you get your certification?
Every 5 years.
Oh, so the certification lasts for 5 years? Oh, that's good. Okay.
It's not like I do that, it's paid every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, then I mean, we'll see what happens, but yeah, that definitely makes sense. If we can finish the
Get that
process and
stamp of
have
approval.
have it in place for 5 years.
And there's also just a little Steam update from Ms. Tanner on here. Didn't know if we're gonna need to stop sharing and reshare. And then there's just a fun kind of update from Ms. Tanner on here. Some of the things, highlights from January and February, lots of STEAM projects and field trips and things like that. That we can definitely take a look at as well. Any other questions we can answer? Very quickly.
Are there any other items, Dr. Hoffman, in the principal's report? Dr. Bachman, are there any updates on, I guess, SAT prep course, SAT coming up in a few weeks?
SAT on September, the 2nd of April. So the prep course has gone well. Of course, as always, kids drop out. But it's gone, I think it's been a really good process. Carrie McBride has done an outstanding job of keeping track of everything. So, we'll just improve it next year, but I think it's been a really good help. You can't really compare, it's no way to compare, because you're talking about different kids, but it'll be interesting to see maybe what the jump is from the PSAT, again, I'm not sure you can hear, but the PSAT to the SAT, that kind of thing. I think it's different, but I am going to ask our research people, Mr. Patel, to help us in any way if there's any comparison, any kind of data that we can get that shows that it helped, that,
There's a conversion that you can do to PSAT to SAT. It's an easy formula. So
Okay.
that's something I can do.
And I can speak to first, because I have been helping on the math end. So the first after school we had, it was a low count, but I think because of we had to cancel some of the things because of the snow day and all of that. But the second session that we had, we really did have a good turnout. We had a decent turnout. I'm not sure how the first practice test went and during Saturday school, but I did the second practice test. So we had a decent turnout with those students, and once they showed me their scores, because they can actually track on Schoology their scores every time they do a practice test and all of that. So a lot of them did do better than the first time, and so the interaction has been good so far. I don't know did you do the English one?
It's next week.
It's next week, yeah. So
Yeah, so we're going to do that.
that's what they're focusing on next week is ELA.
And Ms. McBrien went through and identified any student who had signed up but wasn't engaged and assigned a mentor as somebody who's not a classroom teacher to them. And we all kind of took our group and met with them and made sure they knew how to use Bluebook, got them on, logged in, so that we can, really make sure we're touching as many of them as possible.
Well, and we met last week to work on plans for next week, and one of the things that I suggested to Ms. McBride potentially is we might want to instead of focusing on juniors, focus on sophomores. Because then you get them earlier, then you can keep having them do classes later. But the juniors are so busy, that's they're so overscheduled. And I think that,
So
Instead of
sophomores
waiting right
in lieu
before
of
the
juniors.
yes,
I mean,
sophomores
they
in
are
lieu
very-
of juniors.
Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of kids signed up and then.
With the
you know,
best
they just
intentions,
got
but
overwhelmed
yeah.
with junior stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Then I think they
okay.
had a good
And
turnout
I
for
think
the
it's
late
really-
night too.
Yeah.
The late
And
night.
I think it's really so close to them actually taking it for real that they're not really working on like the developing skills and preparing. They're more sort of cramming.
Yes.
And I think it's a different animal, and that might be something. I also suggested that potentially if we did sophomores, then on the days when juniors are testing for ACT and SAT, when the sophomores aren't testing, we can have sessions then, like on those days, instead of having to go to regular class. We can actually have
Okay,
sessions.
capture your, okay, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good
So that's what I was thinking, because I was just thinking the juniors are testing so much when we have those, and the sophomores aren't, and that's a really viable way for us to
Right.
do some, you could have them do practice tests, you could have them do sessions.
And I guess next year you have to do both sophomores and juniors, so, you know.
So they don't start.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, and yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, well, that's great. Well, thank you to the school for doing that.
Oh,
And to the
okay.
foundation for funding it.
Foundation.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, a quick update, mock trial team is competing in the state championships this weekend. So, good luck to mock trial,
Yeah.
exciting stuff. Okay, any other updates for principal report? Okay, we're gonna go to our second, public comment period. So if you'd like to make a public comment, you can put your name in the chat and we can send you a link, or if you just have a question, you can type it in the chat. So I see 3, is there any? Oh, that's
Our
our, oh, okay, great.
I'm watching the YouTube one on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I know, a lot of technology going on. I don't have any comments other than good afternoon, and be louder.
Okay, Diane, there weren't any announcements in the draft, documents from the Go team. Are there any announcements? Okay, so,
Well, I do think we've met we have the minimum, right? for
Yeah.
The voting, or for the declaration of candidates.
oh, we have enough candidates
Yeah.
for Midtown. Okay, great.
That sounds louder.
Okay, anyone else have anything they want to bring up? Any other announcements? Okay, well, with that, this is another record. Not only did we start on time, but I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, Missy Zoka, second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Okay, we are adjourned at 4:31.